And he showcased his blazing speed on that one.
Was he wearing football cleats or track spikes? Because he was gone. Big-time play, and just think about what that does if you're a receiver on the team with him. Well, that's got to open things up for you as well, because if I'm a defense, I've got to get back deeper and deeper in order to keep him in front. But I'm not sure how many can actually keep him in front with that speed.
And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. The Panthers offense here, they get ready to head back on the field. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick other than the extra point. That's it. I know the initial focus was on how far that pass was downfield, but how about the coverage on the play? Able to stay with him, get his hands where the receiver's hands were going to try and catch the ball, tips it up in the air, and knocks it away.
So incomplete on first. Let's see what second down has in store. They come out here in the I. On second down, they run with Stewart. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue.
How many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty, can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary, and that led to a really nice gain. That's another nice run, and I have to tell you, some of the coaches that I played for, their philosophies were always different when they see a guy running the ball well. Some of them wanted to immediately go to play action and throw it now because it's wide open. While other coaches said, you know something? Until they stop him, that big boy's going to keep getting the football. And that might be the direction that they're going to go right now.
20.
Newton turns and hands to Stewart. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Back-to-back stops make it 3rd and 10. Offense trying to avoid stalling out, facing a 3rd and 10. From the gun on 3rd down, Newton. And he finds a man. It's Olsen. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a 1st down.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You get better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes. Oh, man, for him to be that wide open and drop it, sometimes you have just too much time on your hands, right? You end up thinking way too much, and your hands get shaky.
And yes, he's a tight end, but that's a catch he should have made. That 2nd down run a big help as 7 yards leaves him with just a 3rd and 3 now.
Well, that's why the guy with the headsets is down there. All right, they know what they're doing because they got stuffed on a running play on 1st down. And I think myself and probably the fans were saying throw the football in this situation. But he knew what he was doing, called another run, and now they've got 3rd and short.
Possible run anticipation. Here's the D-line sandwiches together. And they'll get him down right about the 20. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
The best defensive linemen, they play with great leverage so they can get low and not get bowled over by offensive linemen. They have excellent hands. They can throw people off on a play. We just saw a great example of a really good run stop by a guy playing the defensive tackle position.
On 2nd down, here's Newton. This will be caught at the 2.
Kelvin Benjamin bounced back from an ACL injury in 2015 to really good health in 2016 and had a 100-plus yard game early in the season, so it looked like he was all the way back. But Brandon, the rest of the year, never broke 100 yards again.
That is hard to believe. He had a stretch late in the season. He went 18 yards, 11 yards, 20 yards. That's just not what you expect from him and the Panthers.
Not at all. I don't think it's all his fault, but they're going to be looking for another breakout season from him next year.
And he will take it across for a Panthers touchdown. Fozzie Whitaker as the first half is winding down. And the Panthers are going to jump back in front. So they're able to capture the lead here just before halftime.
And not only that, they get the ball to start the second half.
That's right.
This is almost like basketball down the stretch, right, where you get the 2-for-1 situation where you try and get 2 shots to your opponent's 1. In this situation, they got the touchdown. They'll get another shot at to start the second half.
Could be a big turnaround. So out now come the Cardinals. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
Get ready.
They'll throw on first down here with Palmer. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. They got pressure there and only rushing 3.
And there's a defensive coordinator right now who is celebrating not just getting home with 3 there, but realizing if that's the type of pressure he can get in the entire game, then his pass defense is going to be excellent. You're dropping 8. Where are you going to go with the football?
95, Sally 92, Sally 92.
2nd and 10 now, and it's Palmer. In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. So as they take it over, we step aside. And unless this is a quick incompletion, this is likely the last play here of this first half. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. Throwing is Palmer. Looking deep downfield. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. First half in the books. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. J.J. Nelson now to return. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. So here's the Cardinals offense now as they get set to start this third quarter. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half 2, no?
I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in the locker room. They talked about cleaning up some of the errors, but overall, I think they wanted to be positive with them. Guys, we're right there. Just not playing as well as we need to. Let's pick it up, and we still have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, they do. We'll see if they can pick it up. Okay, partner, you ready for Brandon's off-the-wall stat question of the week here?
Well, is that any different than any other time we talk?
No, it's not. But Chris Hogan
yes,
and Julio Jones actually had the exact same numbers in the conference title games. 9 catches, 180 yards, 2 touchdowns. Who did it better?
Wow, that's a great question. Listen, the easy trite answer is they both did it so exceptionally well, you just called a tie.
But I'm breaking the tie. Yeah.
I'm breaking the tie. Julio Jones did it better. That short slant where he ended up running over 2 or 3 people and taking it to the end zone, that was the clincher right there. Julio Jones did it a little bit better than Chris Hogan.
From the gun on third down, it's Palmer. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he's got the first down yardage as he brings this up to the 47.
Coaches always harp on the quarterback reading the defense and getting it to the open man. That's good recognition there. And how about what he did after the catch?
Yeah, hit your tight end, let him get some rack.
Yeah, when he get
trying to set up the screen, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Thomas Davis. And they'll set up shop in enemy territory at the 45-yard line. The Panthers offense now, they head back on the field for their first possession of the second half. That last drive, it was a good mix. Run, pass, defense on their toes.
And what really helps out in a big way is when you're doing the run-pass mix and everything's working, that means that they're guessing wrong every time on defense. They think you're going to pass when you run and vice versa. I would continue that, and when they finally draw a bead on you, maybe you mix it up a little bit, a little play action, and throw the ball.
And will they maintain that balance? Time to find out. Now following the interception, here's Newton. They'll set up the screen for Stewart. And some room to maneuver. And he's brought down. A nice pickup there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
They ran that one well, and not only did they pick up a nice chunk of yardage on the screen, they sent a message to the defense. Rush the passer all you want, but you better be careful. We can hit you going back the other direction.
Stewart, and nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be second down. Boy, that's a lot of sirloin steak to be taken down for no gain, partner.
Are you trying to suggest that he is a huge man?
He is
not just a big man, a huge man.
Big boy.
Well, how about the credit then for the defense to be able to chop that big tree and put him on the ground?
I know back when you played, it took 4 of you to take a guy like that down, right?
Well, that's for sure. And you know what else? I didn't want to challenge him at dinner either.
Here's Stewart, and past the 30 down to about the 27. It'll be a gain of 7, and they get it back to a 3rd and 3. And third quarter here, you've got the lead. This is where that strong run game can really benefit you. Stayed in bounds there, kept the clock going.
I like all the points you just made there. And if you throw the football and it's incomplete, now you've stopped the clock, and you've helped out the guys on the other side of the ball. So keep it in the hands of those runners, keep moving it, keep grinding clock. And that run was memorable for only one reason. There was absolutely no place to run with the football. No gaps, no creases, no gain.
So now off goes Newton, and on comes the kicker, Graham Gano. From the right hash, this from 44 yards out. And Gano's kick is right through. And that will push the lead up to 12-7. So it's only 3 points on this opening drive of the third quarter. And even though that stretches out the lead, Charles, I think you'd have to consider this a win for the defense, no?
Couldn't agree more, Brandon. That offense got themselves in prime position to really open up this ball game, but the drive stalled out. And yeah, 3 points is very easy to get back in today's NFL.
And the Cardinals offense here ready to take over. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I can hear my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. What they're hoping is that last mistake is their only one of the game.
Coaches, that's all they talk about, turnovers, right?
Minimizing those and maximizing opportunities.
Johnson, and he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be second down. And a long way to go for the offense here on second down. They come up in an empty set. 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end. On second down, Palmer. It's brought in complete. It's John Brown. And they're going to get this one all the way out across the 45. And there they went crossing route against the zone defense. What do you think of that?
Takes real coordination between the passer and the receiver, because you've got to read those zones and where the open spots are and be on the same page with the guy throwing the football. Because sometimes you're throwing it in front of the zone, sometimes you're throwing it between the zones, sometimes the receiver's going to just kind of find a spot and what we call sit down and present himself to the quarterback and throw it there. It's a tough read, but when they're in sync, it's really effective. Brandon, one thing we run into in sports all the time is people discussing whether teams achieved all that they can achieve. And for the Atlanta Falcons in recent years, I think a lot of people thought they were underachievers. They erased that with this year's playoff run to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, last year had the hot start to this season, petered out, and just when they've been able to get to the playoffs, haven't been able to get over that proverbial hump. I think they're over that hump.
Yeah, I think in this recent run, and this is what I'm talking about maybe since about 2005 or so, they did have one NFC Championship game appearance against San Francisco, but many thought they should have won that one. Now they're on to the Super Bowl in 2017.
Again, it's Palmer. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Third down is the down. Both sides know they absolutely have to win, and the name of the game for the defense is pressure on the quarterback. But pressure on the quarterback with contact, that's how you end up winning it.
And no move to get the offense off the field. They're going on 4th and 5.
Let's go, let's go.
They'll try and throw for him with Palmer. And that is intercepted. Or was it? Wait, they'll say no. No interception. He did not keep the feet in bounds, apparently. So that's just going to be an incompletion. All right, I want to hop to something else real quick. You get 2 weeks off before the Super Bowl. Atlanta, New England. Everyone knows what happens that second week when they're in Houston. What happens the first week?
Well, I think for most of them, it's making sure they get rest and rehab because they're going to let them come down off of the victory from before you start up. Plus, you don't want to get the game plan in too early. You'll peak, and guess what?